Hello everybody, this is Marty McConnell, the Off-Grid Gecko, and today I'm going to be talking about my first official off-grid gecko knife. I've been toting this guy around and using it for about a week now. I've probably flicked it open about 500, 600 times, and the action on it is still as smooth as ever. I carry it in my pocket at work, and I do concrete work, so it's obviously constantly getting dirty, and I gotta wipe it clean. I'm going to go over some of just the specs on it, give you a rough overview. If you want to purchase these, you can check out offgridgecko.com and just click the store button in the drop down menu or in the menu at the top of your screen, depending on whether you're looking on your phone or on the computer. But without going into too much shameless self-promotion, let's go ahead and get right to it. So with starting my store, I want to make quality items available to the budget-minded, budget-friendly person. So what I wanted in a knife, which ended up being my first product, was I go to these stores and I look and see the shelf, and there's $60 Kershaws and Bucks that this knife will probably compete right against, side to side, head to head, without issue. It's very well made. You can feel like the weight of it when you pick it up, even though it's only 155 grams. And it's just solid quality construction. It took me a while to find a manufacturer that would make this kind of knife where I could sell it on a budget. So this little $25 knife here, I'll put this right up against anything in Walmart's little display case. Alright, let's check out the knife. So the first thing on this knife is ease of use, portability. The belt clip is made of stainless steel. It's really wide on this end and it grips super tight, so it might be a little bit of a trick to get it into certain pockets, but this little uplift at the end makes it pretty easy to slide into a jeans pocket or most heavier duty clothing. The release action is actually this little lever activated switch, so you just pull down on that and it snaps open, and then when you close it, there's a little bit of tension that goes in there, and I guess that kind of loads that little spring. So just makes it super easy, is super fast to deploy, no problems, and it's got the official Off-Grid Gecko logo printed right there on the blade. The closure mechanism is, you guys have probably seen this if you've been around knives for the last 20 years. This internal locking mechanism, which you push to the side and fold that closed. Now the big difference between this and my Camilla and some other knives is that this steel here is rounded over to the left, and it's the only part of the knife that's really not ambidextrous. I mean, it's got an opening button on either side. You can access the lever, obviously, which becomes the guard down here from either side. But this opens to the left, so if you're left-handed, it might be a little weird, but it still works. Since it's rolled over and it's polished pretty smooth by the factory, this isn't any extra work that I've done to this knife. This is bone stock right out of the pack. This little rolled over section makes this light on your finger, so you don't have to worry about catching a burr or cutting your finger just when you're trying to close your knife, which is a failing I've noted in multiple pocket knives over the years that I've carried. The blade is 3CR13 stainless steel. It's comparable to 420 J2, and I know right off the bat a lot of people are going to freak out about that and be like, oh, well, that's cheap Chinese steel. Yeah, it's cheap Chinese steel that in the 70s and 80s was touted as, I mean, 420 J2 is like the happy medium between hardness and durability. So even though this will test a Rockwell hardness probably to 56 or 57, it's not super hard, but it will take a super sharp edge, and because of the high chromium content, it shouldn't ever rust as long as you take care of it. And by taking care of it, I don't mean oiling it every day like you have to do with a high carbon steel knife. I just mean, you know, keep it in your pocket, wipe it off when you're done using it. I've given this no special treatment, and I've used it for cooking and cleaning and making little sticks and shaving coils and working on a new axe handle that I'm working on. It's a pretty solid, durable product. I use this to pry something open too. I think I pried out the those little aluminum wedges out of the top of my axe head so that I can get it off without breaking the tip. I, of course, was very careful in that regard because I don't want to break a tip on a brand new knife, but I've broken several tips on knives doing very simple things like that. This one will hold up, unlike some of the tool steels that get higher ratings from the survival people, and they can snap under heavy use like that very easily. So some of the features on this knife: the edge is beveled quite stoutly. It's probably about a 25-degree bevel on there, which, because of the softness of the steel, is probably a good thing. This thing doesn't need to be as thin as a razor. You're not looking for a wire knife, but even so, even after days of use, this probably pick hair off my arm pretty easily. Yeah, I got a little bit. It needs a little touch up. But I've been using it for about a week, so that's normal. You will have to touch this up from time to time. I will be adding a whetstone of some type to the site, like a budget whetstone or a sharpening device that you can use with this. You don't have to use some specialty ceramic file or anything like that. This will sharpen on a normal stone or even a kitchen sharpener because of the steel's a little bit softer. You know, it's not rock hard tool steel, so it's easy to sharpen. The things that make this an EMS knife are, of course, the glass breaker and the seatbelt cutter. The seatbelt cutter, I'm up in the air about, to be perfectly honest. It has its place, obviously, but you're not going to be cutting paper with that. It's not like, it's not designed for that purpose. It's designed to grip and just tear heavy pieces of cloth. So this is a piece of nylon webbing, similar to seatbelt material. And it's just, yeah. So it's making more of a mess than actually cutting through, but it will get through it fairly easily without killing yourself. So it does work. And to be perfectly honest, most of these EMS knives that I've seen, this is more of like an add-on cool feature than anything else. Like I said, it does have its uses and its purposes. If you want to saw through something like nylon without damaging your ordinary blade, then it works as a backup, you know, because you don't have to, if you don't care about a clean finish, then obviously you're going to do whatever you can to saw through it. And sawing through heavy cordage like that is a good way to dull your blade, which is the last thing you want to do. If you're having to cut yourself out of a seatbelt, you're probably in an E&E situation. It's a good idea to keep your knife sharp. This little guy is locked in here. It's held in by compression and some sort of riveting, so it does wiggle a little bit. It's a little bit loose, but that doesn't matter. It will easily, you know, punch a hole in just about anything from solid wood. And then it's got a knife sharp point on there that I haven't been able to dull yet that concentrates the force of the impact. So you use this on glass and it means much less pressure to break. What else? These scales are a mix of stainless steel and some kind of composite material and some type of fiberglass inlay. I thought it was G10 fiberglass, but there's another type of composite material that this is more akin to. I can't remember the name of it right now. I apologize for that. And I can't be 100% sure of what epoxy and what kind of cloth they used, but it is one of these composite cloth scale type things. Another thing about the glass breaker, the way the head of this is machined, the geometry here makes this a good solid fit in the hand so that you can get a lot of leverage behind your glass breaking. Just wrap your thumb around the top there, and that is an ambidextrous feature again. The finish is stone washed, so it's got kind of this dark, dull coloring to it that's basically just from, I assume, from being washed up with all those little pebbles when they throw it in the polishing machine, like the type of pebbles they put in. It just puts a really unique finish on here that has actually held up pretty well. So this isn't painted on. This is a quality of finishing the steel. There are, as far as fit and finish is concerned, there is not a single burr or sharp edge or anything that they've left hanging out that could cut your skin. That was one thing I was impressed with when I got this knife, was the fit and finish. It's not perfect, you know. You could take a sanding machine and probably make this a little bit smoother in a couple places, but they did a hell of a job compared to most budget knives that I've owned, of going through and taking all the little burrs off and making sure everything's smooth. You're not going to get a paper cut from using the damn thing. And yeah, comfort level, the liner lock does kind of make this a little bit uncomfortable if you have a blister on your finger right here, which I had the other day, but for most purposes it is totally comfortable, and it comes sharp out of the pack, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't know what way I'm cutting this wood. It cuts easily, and it'll peel off little thin pieces of wood right out of the pack. It's razor sharp. It'll shave hair off your arm. And a little touch up with a stone every now and then, and you can keep this guy in razor sharp functioning condition. And because it's a durable steel, it's not going to be prone to cracking or chipping or breaking out. Like, if anything, you'll deform or roll the edge a little bit, and it can be rolled right back and polished right back into shape without removing too much material, unlike a major damage like a chip or a nick, or you just gouge out a chunk, or worse, just snap the blade in half. Those are things that can't be fixed. So for your average blue-collar worker or anybody looking to buy a knife on a budget, this is a good quality buy. It's much higher quality than probably every knife in the price range, and I'll stand by that. I'll back that up. I mean, I'm not a knife expert, but I've had experience with tens to maybe over 100 knives in my time, and this is one that I carry in my pocket every single day. Since they arrived, I snatched one out of the box, and it's been on me, you know, pretty much 24/7. I even slept with it in my pocket the other night. So indispensable tool, really low price. Like I said, $25 for what's effectively a $40 or $50 knife if you're going shopping at Walmart. So well worth the shipping. If you're in Missouri, I will only sell these in the United States. If you are in Missouri, you will get a discount on the shipping, but you're also going to have to pay sales tax, because that's the way the laws in my state work, at least as far as I can tell. But it ends up being about the same price. So knife with shipping, shipped anywhere in the continental United States or Alaska or Hawaii for $31. That's the extent of the review, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave this here with you and let you do what you're going to do. If you do decide to purchase the knife and you are a YouTube video maker, or just want to send me an email, let me know what you think of it. I'm definitely open to hearing everybody's opinion. I am ready to put this guy on the block, as far as, you know, if you want to do a video on it or compare, just let me know so I can go ahead and link to that in the comments on this video. And I really hope you guys enjoy this knife. I hope you'll pick it up and give it a try. And this is just the first, so I'm looking, like I said, for other budget items to add to my store that are of higher quality than what you can go find at Walmart, usually for more expensive pricing. That's all I've got for now, so until next time, keep on keeping on. This is Off Grid Gecko signing off.